So guys, EFCC decided to grant Mompha bail. Unlike Omoyele Sowore, convener of Revolution Now protests that are still be kept in custody. When you consider both of them, you realize that Mompha is not a threat to this government, but they believe that Omoyele Sowore is a threat to their criminal activities. Federal High Court in Lagos on Friday granted Mompha 100 million naira bail, and he has been accused of money laundering. His name is Ismaila Mustafa, known as Mompha. Mompha was arraigned for alleged 33 billion naira fraud. The FCC arrested Mompha on October 19 at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. He was remanded in the commission custody following a court order. There are going to be more details as regards this, and I'm going to keep you guys up to date on this. So guys, let's talk a little bit about what Mompha actually did and what the truth is all about as regards this case. You see, he claims that he's involved in Bureau de Change, and EFCC, according to their own investigation and Interpol, they claimed that he was just using this as a form of, it's a kind of smoke screen for the business that he does. That is BEC business email compromise, Yahoo Yahoo, whatever name you want to call these things. And you also know that a Lebanese guy was also picked by the FCC in one of the high-rise building, very expensive, somewhere on the island, and they found some other fetish materials. Simply put, these guys, they engage in fetish, stop diabolic support for their job, for whatever things they do, probably not to catch them for or something like that, probably for them to get more money, and also for the security agencies not to actually catch them, or the radar of the security agencies should not shine on them. But unfortunately, in this case, he has been picked, as there is a kind of operation in the United States where they are trying to crack down on BEC businesses, BEC compromise, email compromises that has been ongoing in the United States of America. Now, there are a lot of mixed reactions to this. Some people from Asia and Africa do not mind. They claim that the West built their country on the backs and also on the backs of people from all of this, from the rest of the continent, Africa, mostly Africa. Of course, they have the same problem in India too. India and Philippines and many of these countries, India, Philippines, and one other country in Asia there, where you find a lot of young people from those regions also involved in this. They claim that their country has been made so poor even till now. There is neo-colonization, there was slavery and all of that. And for crying out loud, why would many of them want to go on the sea just for them to get to Europe? All because these Western countries are involved in supporting criminal elements in Africa, Asia, and the rest of these countries to bring down money to save in their country and buy properties. In Europe and in America, in Canada, and in the rest of these countries, you cannot be a citizen of that country and you take huge amount of money and put it in the bank, just like how government officials, politicians in Africa, in Asia, how they do. They impoverish their people, they take the money down there. Aside the slavery, like I said, aside colonization and neo-colonization that is ongoing at the present. So there are a lot of people that feel that they are getting back what belongs to them because these people stole from Africa and they are still stealing. You want to check France and what they do to francophone African countries? The money that these countries spend, like how they've been spending during the colonial era, is still the same. France is the one in charge, and right now one of them from Togo is actually speaking. I think Togo or Benin Republic is actually saying enough of this. We want to have our money being printed in Africa, in one of the countries in Africa, and that's what we want to cut off from France and all of that. And it seems there are some saboteurs among them, and France is not happy with this because the majority of their economy comes from stealing, looting, impoverishing Africa by giving opportunities to certain few criminal elements amongst their ranks and file, such as a politician. Just look at Cameroon. The man has been there for a long time, and he is not ready to get out of that seat. He has been there doing whatever he needs to do for years. And when you look at him, you'll be like, what is going on here? I thought these countries that claim to be countries that uphold the rule of law and all of those stories that we do here, I thought they would not come and shake hands with this, with these authoritarians, with these dictators that we have in this country. But that's not the case. As Paul Biya, he has been there for a long time, and he will never leave that position. The same thing goes with many of these countries that are francophone countries. You will always find them these criminal elements given the opportunity to save their money abroad, to hide their loot. That's just the problem that we are talking about. So many of the young people feel that they cannot fight the government. The government seems to be stronger than them. So they also feel very bad that their economy is being strangled, is being stifled by these Westerners, directly and indirectly, of course, with the cooperation right now, the cooperation of the corrupt politicians in Africa. So once in a while they come out to say, oh, these countries are fantastically corrupt, this that, or just paying lip service and trying to cleanse themselves in the eyes of their own citizens. As you know, they are in control of the media. They dictate to the media what they want the media to say about themselves, and of course about other nations, other citizens of other countries and other ethnic, tribe and race. That's what they do. So we know all of this. So some group of guys decided to start hitting back at them, and they use crime, just like how the West is also, they are also criminals. Now that doesn't mean they don't have hardworking people. I'm not talking about people that go to work and come back, but many of them are benefiting from the loot, from the criminal activities of their ancestors. Until date, they are still indirectly involved in stealing, looting and destruction of Africa. At least let's focus on Africa. So that is the stories that many of these young dudes that are involved in all of this. That is not to say that you will not find Caucasian Americans. I've seen video stories and I've seen documentaries where British, Canadian, Americans, Europe, just mention any of France, they all move out of their domain and they move down to some of these Asian countries, Thailand, Philippines, they move down to India and some of these countries, Malaysia, and they open up a kind of office there where they scam people. I have watched documentaries. I'm talking of Caucasian, that you might say white. Of course, I've never seen anybody white. They are involved in these things too. So it's just what the media wants to put out there, as if this is the only thing that is happening here. It's so endemic. This is so terrible. But it happens within themselves too. They are thieves. They are looters because their government and many of their structures, banking structures, are involved in this business of bringing loot, accepting loot from Africa and from Asia. So some of these dudes are also saying the reason why they are trying to get back their own money and enjoy themselves is by getting, that is the reason, and is by doing what they are doing. So yes, someone saying that him go pay the chicken change. EFCC got no strong case of Mompha. They have succeeded in making him popular like Naira Marley. Well, no, that's the, like I said, a lot of people now think that the way forward is just for them to commit all of this. Yes, someone say if you want to commit crime in this country, just make sure you committed it and you achieve the purpose of the crime. So meaning when you are caught, you know, yes, I got the money and I'm going to bail myself. Yes, someone said I thought he was arrested based on orders from Interpol. Waiting be our okay. So that's another thing. Another one say, considering the meaningless and watery charges against him, 100 million is an outrageous high bail. It should not be more than 1 million naira. So he has been charged with money. He has been charged for money laundering and this is cyber fraud and the rest of that. Someone say Mompha should count himself lucky he was not arrested by Interpol but EFCC. He will be released and he will go back to his fraudulent business and show off on Instagram. Nigeria is a joke. But I don't think so. I don't believe so. So that's just what it is, guys. What's your own take about all of this? If you are not part of this channel, simply tap on the subscription button on the red notification icon bell. That will automatically make you a member of this channel. Thanks for stopping by.